In this lecture, we are going to cover from basic about how to start computer and what are the computer, means to say what is the difference between hardware, software, input devices, like these things, and then we will go for the next one, that is Excel. So our main target is to start work with Excel. Okay, so to learn about the Excel, before learning about the Excel, we have to learn about how computer works. Okay, so first of all, every time we have hardware. Okay, we have hardware, and when we have hardware, it means that a device that is not at this moment as in usable state, so we can't use that device. For example, we have laptop, we can't use without any software. So means to say, we have a laptop, without operating system we can't use that laptop. For example, we say sometimes, I think you have heard about this, I have a laptop but I don't have window. My laptop is not working because of Windows. It means without software, hardware cannot do anything. So we can say, hardware is the physical body and software is the soul of that body. So we have, first of all, we have a system software that is on top of the hardware. In the system software, what are the software? Those software, those allow us to use hardware. Okay, those software, those allow us to use hardware. What it means, for example, you have a mobile and you are not able to use that mobile, and you come to the mobile, go to the mobile shop and say, it is not working, and then he took that, he saw that mobile and say, software is not available in this. So he just installed the software and give it to that you. So it means that system software, for example, we can say printer. In printer, without software we can't use that. That software is considered in this category as a OS, means a system software, and also OS is also considered in this category. Okay, so what are the list of common OS? So I'm going to discuss on those, like list of popular operating system, popular OS. So these are the some popular OS: Linux, Microsoft Windows, and Mac OS. Windows, you know very well about it. Windows. Mac OS is used in Apple laptops, and Linux is used in most of the companies because it is a open source. It is a free, so that's why most of the companies used Linux. Okay, and if you talk about the Android, Android is also a operating system. It means it's a software that is installed on a mobile. It is built for mobile, but nowadays Android is taking command in like vehicles. You can see every like every screen you will find that in that we also have Android operating system. And mobile, we can say Android TV. You have heard about this. So this is an operating system that allows us to use those things. Unix is similar like Linux, and iOS is used for mobile phones, that is from Apple company. Okay, so Chrome OS, Ubuntu, like these, there are lots of the operating systems are available in the market. These all are operating systems, main purpose is to run the hardware. Okay, on top of these software, on top of these software we have, we have application software. Okay, on top of this software we have application software. Application softwares are those software, those are used for a specific purpose. For example, if a data list using Power BI, it's a application software. If a data analytics using Excel, it's a application software. We are using MS Paint for designing this diagram. We means to say it's an application software. All those software, those are used for a specific task as considered as the application software. Okay. Now user is exist outside this, so here user is available. Okay, so if user wants to communicate to the hardware, then he must follow application software, then OS, then hardware. For example, in mobile, we will take an example of mobile. We use apps, we install apps. All apps are considered as the application software, and operating system, that is Android, is considered as the hardware, and mobile is your hardware. Sorry, operating system is considered as the system software and mobile is hardware. Understand? Android is a system software apps we install like photo app, messenger, WhatsApp chat, means to say like any application we install app, that is considered as the application software. Understand? Application software are designed for a specific purpose. Clear? Is there a doubt? No. But if you talk about here, hardware understand, machine understand this language, but human do not understand this language. Human understand this language like 100, like any number, like hello. Human understand this language. So the journey of from user to hardware is go like this. So this is called binary. This is called binary or machine language, but human works in human readable language. So between these, I think it is mandatory that something is happening stand here. So I am going to explain you what is standing here. So window are Excel. I'm going to open the Excel, and here we will select a blank book. What we set 0, but I did, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, for example, I said 5, but user said 5. This is not stored same in the machine. What it will be stored? Equals to decimal to binary, because we are working in decimal number, and computer understand binary number. So this number will be converted into this. For example, sometimes if I do this, then it's range very high, so that's why it's saying that number error. Okay, so understand about it. If you write like this value, and internally this value is stored, from where these values are come. To understand about these things, how internally works these things, to understand about these things, we need to understand 1 is represented as the on and 0 is represented as the off. And many times you also see this on the internet, like on off switch, on off switch, and we have 0 1. Do you know this is belongs to this binary numbers only? Okay, so means to say, if we have 0 1 0 1, it means that it belongs to this category. Okay, so what and how these things are built, means to say machine code is converted by using the compiler, and like these things are happened. And if you in Excel, if you need to convert this and any number, then we can use this formula, those are available. Okay, so and I don't want to go in much deeper, because if I go in deep, then you will get definitely bored. So but more one thing that we have to understand for this journey, first of all, we need to understand how it happens that in earlier time computer size was 10 by 10, 10 feet by 10 feet, but nowadays computer size is very small, that is in our palm. Okay, so what is the main thing that transform everything from that to this? What is the main thing? So what is that? That is a technology that is used inside our hardware. So in earlier time, it was a transistor. Okay, it was a transistors. If I say vacuum tubes, before the transistors, we have a vacuum tubes. You can understand, we have a vacuum tubes. Only one vacuum tubes can store only 1 bit. So you can understand what was the storage capacity. Because in our like small IC, we can say like chip, like memory card, in a small memory card, we have crores of vacuum tubes are available in today's if compare, not crores, we can go beyond this. Okay, so vacuum tubes, first was the vacuum tubes, and they like light like this. So they already means to say they always generate heat, and that's why we need an AC to manage that, and maintenance is very high. After some time, transistors, sorry, vacuum converted with the vacuum tubes to transistors means to say this is the vacuum tube, and this type of vacuum tubes can be hold in this up to like thousands. Okay, so that is the main major thing that changed everything at that time. And after the transistors, we have transistors to IC. These are now converted these transistors into IC. So this is the main transformation, means to say what is the main thing that reduce the size of the device is like technology of how bits are performing internally. Nowadays, if we have a single IC, that is a single IC means it's a processor, microprocessor. In a single microprocessor, there are lots and lots of ICs can be stored, because that is a very large VSLI. There are lots of technologies are occur. You can learn about the history of computer, and then you can see what are the technologies transformed. Okay, so one more thing that I want to make you aware: we are belong from India, and you know Indians are always focused on the learning new things and acquiring some new technologies all the time. But they sometimes it happens that, okay, let it go, and we want to start from Excel. So to start Excel, what we can do, just window key and then Excel, find Excel. If Excel is available, it means that in your system Excel is available. Okay, and then just click here and Excel will be available. Other way of opening this window are just write Excel and then press enter. Now we will available here. Okay, so at this point we are in the screen. You know, computer tells everything theirself. You know, everything. Computer tells everything theirself, and we can say, or we can say in other word, the developer who developed the software always keep in mind the user of this application is going to be used in a like a illiterate person. So that's why they build things like anyone can work on those things. Okay, so to understand about this Excel, this is an Excel application. First of all, we need to know what is the file name book1 and what is the application name Excel. And we have a status bar here. Here you will find some many other things, okay, related to the number and some average, like these values will be available here. Okay, and we have, these are the rows and these are the columns heading. Okay, so we call these as headings. Okay, these are the rows and these are the columns, and this is a single as a cell. And what is cell? Intersection of row and column is become cell. Now this is a cell. Okay, so cell has address built using column and rows number, for example. And this is a formula bar. Whatever you will write, this will becomes a formula will be displayed. So, and these are the tabs, and when I press Control F1, tab ribbons will be hidden, and in hide or hide ribbons using Control F1. Okay, and these are the tabs. We have to cover these tabs little bit later. Okay, here you can see sheets names are displayed here. We have only one sheet. In old version by default 3 sheets were there, but nowadays they say just only one sheet. If we need, we can add new sheets. Okay, now these are the column headings, these are the row headings, this is the name of the name address, sorry, name box, and this is the function. Now देखो, you can see what is this name box. Computer, let's know yourself. Formula bar. Okay, so means to say every function, what is the function of this, we will understand about these things. So first of all, we need to learn about how to zoom in or zoom out. But before going to the zoom in zoom out, we have to understand, when we press alt key, what I am pressing, alt key, just after pressing alt key, you can see in your screen every tabs assigned a character, or we can say every tab has a character. And for example, if you want to go for file tab, then we just have to use F. If we want to go for home tab, then we have to use H. I press H. When I pressed H, all the groups and tabs and options, all the options are available inside this home tab are available here. Okay, if I want to use bold, then I can press 1. If I want to use wrap text, I can use W. If I want to conditional formatting, then I can press L. If I want to use insert, then I can press I. Means to say, for every option some keys are assigned. Even though there are lots of keys, we don't need to remember even a single key. We don't need to remember even a single key. Why? Because everything is visible to us. But over the time you will get expert in this and you will not see and you will just use direct. For example, if I have hello user working fine, okay, I'm not able to see this in proper way, so I want to zoom it. Alt V Z0, then enter. Now it's zoomed. You understand how shortcuts work. So if you want to auto adjust this cell because this cell's value is high, so what I can do, Alt H O I, we can use this. So these are the shortcut keys assigned to Alt. Okay, so we will start from the home tab. Inside this home tab we have different groups. What are the groups? Clipboard, font, alignment, numbers, styles, cells, editing and add-ins. And you know, every group name is assigned because of some sense. If we have alignment group, means to say all the options related to the alignments are placed here. If we have font, it means all the options related to the fonts will be are placed here. Okay, so we are going to use some shortcuts. First of all, I need to understand how to zoom in. You know zoom in very well. Should I tell you or not? You know. Okay, we can skip that portion, zoom portion. Okay, I've just I'll just say one key, Alt and then Z, sorry, Alt V Z, Alt V Z. Then you have to select from one of them, and every value contains a underline. In 200, 0 is underlined. In 50, 5 is underlined. If I press 0, then 200 will be selected. If I press 2, then 25 will be selected. Okay, means to say based on our requirement we can use any options. Okay, what I want to learn about the most important portion in this is number formatting. Most important portion is number formatting. But before going to the number formatting, we need to learn about some basics of this. So for example, I have text hello and I want to bold it. So what can I do? Alt H and then I can press 1, so it will make it bold. And another shortcut for this is Control B. So I'm going to write these shortcuts so that anyone can understand. Alt plus H plus, Alt means Alt key is accessed, and when you press H means home tab is accessed. Inside home tab we have one, then it becomes bold text. And alternate of this CTRL Control plus B, and usually we use this one. Okay, so bold text. And I want to show Alt plus H plus 2. What we will use? Bold italic means italic. For example, I use Alt H and 2. Now italic text is italic. So you has to italic, and it is alternate for this CTRL Control plus I forward italic. And I use Alt plus, sorry, I pressed again 2 times, Alt plus H plus 3. But for underline, will it work? No, it will not work. You can see Alt H 3. I press 3, but 3 is not work because in this option there are two options also available: underline and underline for single underline and double underline D. So I want to add underline. I use D. When I press D, then double underline my text. So for single underline U plus U, and for a double underline Alt plus H plus 3 plus D. So it will double underline. Understand? So one more thing that I want to use, this is first underline, this is double underline. And can I use alternate? Yes, CTRL Control plus U for underline. I come here and I press Control U. One underline will be removed, another one underline will be removed. But we can add double underline by using Control U because it works as a toggle. Okay, so now we can understand. Control U for underline. I want to use, like, I have hello user and I just copied this and pasted here. Okay, I want to use borders. How can I use? Just Control A for select all, Control A, Control plus A for forward select all. and then I alt H home, then B for borders, then I press A for all borders. I just control U because I don't want to display the other values. Okay, so all borders, alt plus H plus B plus A for what? All borders. I want to remove all borders. Control A, alt H B or N. All borders removed. Okay, so I said alt plus H plus B plus N for what? Remove all borders. Okay, I'm not going to write all the commands. You have to learn all these commands by using, for example, if I select all and alt H B, here are all the options are available. You have to try every option, and every options has specific menu. Try to do all the things at your level. Okay, so I'm going to add alt H BA underline, all the box is available. I want to fill the color, alt H. Now you can see what is the fill color for H. I again press H and use left, right, up, down arrow. Okay, I use these arrows. So what is the background fill color? Alt plus H plus H for what? Fill color, or we can say background color. Understand? Is there any problem? No. At this time I want to change the font color as well. So what I will do, alt H FC font color. How I am doing? Alt H. Now you can see FC. So I have SC. Okay. So alt H FC. Now we can select any color that you want. Oh wow, that's look like good. Okay. I used a white. Understand? Alt H Y. If you want to auto adjust, we can use. Okay. Control A. I want to increase the font size. Alt H FS font size, then just press alt and down arrow. Now you can see the font size is increased. Okay, I again use the font size, alt H FS font size. Again I use to change this 12. Understand? So what is the font size? Alt plus H plus FS font size. Understand? So you will cover all the things. No, now control S, control A, alt H FF font family. I'm going to select any font family that you want to use. Okay, understand? So now alt plus H plus, what is the font style? What was the shortcut for that? Font style. Alt H FF means to say font face. FF. It's not font style. Okay, font size was there. Font face. It's used for font style. Means to say what type of font you want. Control S. Now I'm going to use here. So I just use this. Now we have understand about the font group. We have two options left. These are the means to say increase intent and decrease intent. So I want to use alt H F FG font grow. Okay, alt H FG for font grow. Alt plus H plus FG for what? Font grow. And alt plus H plus F plus K for what? Font shrink. SHR shrink. Okay, font shrink. Alt H FK font shrink. Alt H FK. Alt H means to say it will reduce by 1 point that we have available. Okay, we have covered the font group. Control A, Control B, Control I, Control U. You can use anything. Okay. So now next group is alignment group. Alignment group. If you talk about the alignment group, every cell has 9 alignments. You know what? Every cell has 9 alignments. If you want to know, let's look at this. We have a great size cell. Okay, and we have write hello. What is the location of this text? Bottom left. So we have these alignments are there. First of all, if you talk about the vertically, we can give 3 alignments vertically: top, middle and bottom. I want to make it as top. Alt H align top. Okay, so middle, alt H align middle, alt H A B align bottom. So we have alt plus H plus A plus align bottom. Is it correct? Align bottom. Alt plus H plus, Alt H or AC. Align center. So bottom, top and align top. Similarly, Alt plus H plus A, um, M for middle alignment. Align middle, and then align top. Understand? So these are the vertical alignments, and we have Alt plus H plus align left AL, align left, and Alt plus H plus align right AR, align right, and Alt plus H plus align center. Align center. We have 9 alignments. By using these 6 values, we can align our text in line alignment. For example, I want to align it in center, so Alt H align middle. Okay, align middle and align center. So these are related to the alignment. If we talk about the wrap text and merge in center, and I think so it's very high time, I think so we should take rest. Okay.